Good evening and welcome to Tyrant House Company News. We have breaking news for you tonight. In this still developing story we have just received, a scorned lover by the name of Jamal Jefferson getting his revenge from his ex-boyfriend, Brad Powalski.
Was this a hate crime?
No, he's Polish, not Jewish, actually.
And there is a large distinction between the two, mainly income. Jews tend to make much more as lawyers and doctors than Polacks do make as alcoholics, and of course, nose size.
Nose size indeed. 1 month ago, Jamal came home to find his longtime boyfriend of over 4 years in bed with another man. One Juan Enrique Alberto Lopez, who works as an assistant manager at the local Starbucks the couple used to frequent. After Jamal saw his lover's penis encased in the flaps of a Hispanic man's foreskin, it made his heart shatter and maybe even his mind.
All those free, non-fat soy lattes finally make sense.
Jamal ran away, unable to bear the sight. Brad tried to chase his broken lover, but the suction from Juan's foreskin kept him stuck until one of the pair would ejaculate, causing a lubrication that would free them. But until then, they'd be stuck in a Chinese finger trap situation.
Do we know who ejaculated first?
No official word, but a source close to the case has indicated that it was simultaneous. Jamal hasn't been seen or heard from by his family, Brad, or his place of employment as a DJ in a nightclub called Princess of the Balls since the incident. But late last night, outside of a roller rink in downtown Tucson, Juan and Brad had met with some friends for a boys' night out. And they were surprised when an innocent trip to the parking lot to smoke meth turned into a vicious assault. Jamal had reappeared after a long month away, and this time he was armed. Dressed in all black, a black jacket with sequins shoulders, and red cowboy boots. But before a word could be exchanged, Jamal threw a large 64-ounce mason jar filled with semen at the group, causing it to get in their eyes, mouth, and even hair. Juan was reported to have been wearing a cashmere sweater, and the meth was unsalvageable.
What an atrocity. Thank goodness no women were there involved, or someone could have ended up pregnant.
Yes. We've also had reports that the police tried to salvage the meth to get DNA evidence from the scene, but before they could, a group of middle-aged lesbians actually came from the bushes and salvaged the semen.
How else are they gonna have kids?
Exactly. That is the reports we're hearing. Is that I mean, this is a normal thing. When these lesbians they get middle aged, they tend to get that baby fever they didn't know they had, and this is a perfect opportunity for them to get semen. And unfortunately for this poor pair that was assaulted, because of that, they have kids. But we may never have an answer to our questions here. We will return to more information on this story as it develops. But until then, we have a little more happier news from you, a feel-good story. There was a big surprise in the headlines this week. Harvey Weinstein, disgraced Hollywood producer who was given a 23-year sentence after a lifetime of sexual assault allegations came out against him in the Me As Well campaign, with numbers of victims rivaling historically terribly tyrants like Genghis Khan and Bill Cosby.
Most recently, you have seen headlines mentioning Weinstein facing new charges and suing his former attorney. But now, it seems that Mr. Weinstein has jumped back into the world of media producer. Not movies, no. He's producing rappers from the cell of his New York prison.
From the rape game to the rap game, eh? One thing you said that stood out in particular, and I'm very sorry to interrupt, was that they let Bill Cosby out!
Right you are. Apparently there is a giant talent for hip-hop music hidden behind the walls of American prisons that producers like Dr. Dre and have lacked the foresight to tap and that is the prison system. Many rappers serve time in prison and put their all into rapping, but Harvey Weinstein bypassed that process, being in direct contact with them in the prison when they have nothing but free time to write their music.
A recently reduced inmate by the name of Lil Dunsey, whose real name is Thomas Jefferson V, just dropped his first album a week from being released. Who was his cellmate? None other than Harvey Weinstein. In a message on Twitter and Instagram to his fans on the day of the release, he thanked Mr. Weinstein and praised him as an essential to his rise in the hip-hop industry, saying, quote, "Dude rode my ass hard, yeah I mean, but we here now, boy, put in that work. Eggplant emoji, water emoji," end quote.
Do we know what kind of percentage Weinstein is getting?
A whopping 30%. And I have to say, as a big fan of gangster rap, it was a very well produced album.
One thing I don't understand is how is he able to produce an album from prison?
Well, you see, in the past, it wasn't unusual to give inmates things like cigarettes when they first came in, or stamps, envelopes, soap, paper, things like that. And as technology advances, we become more progressive. Our penal system is able to increase funding and give all our inmates, iPads.
Sponsored. Do they need to complete any school or trade training to earn the iPads? An incentive, I'd imagine.
No, we just give them iPads. Yeah, we just give them iPads. So then they can reach their loved ones better, send emails, order commissary, or pay the prison money to video visit people anytime. And Harvey Weinstein would use these iPads for video visits. And then he would pay during the recording sessions. It really helped out, I would think.
But it sounds like they pay for themselves. Does the extra funding go toward programs that could help them in the real world and lower recidivism rates?
Harvey Weinstein put out a statement earlier this week, and it read, "If Bill Cosby can get out, so can I. I mean, our cases are basically comparable. And I'd like to thank all my supporters at the ACLU and the Anti-Defamation League, and most especially the Cuomo family. This is the first of many to come. This man was willing to do anything to become a star, and I mean anything. And he is." Lil Dunsey's album hit the top of the Apple Music charts just this morning, and it's expected to be there for quite some time.
Apple iPads.
Well, thank you for joining us this evening. We'll have more with you. A couple other stories we are following. A hamster has been charged with sexual assault after it was found in the anus of a gay black man in a hospital outside of South Central Los Angeles.
We've all been there, am I right?
Who hasn't? Oh, thank you very much. Follow us today on Tyrant House Co., anchor.fm/Tyrant House Co., YouTube, Tyrant House Co., or Rumble, Tyrant House Co. Anywhere THC can be found, it's Tyrant House Co.
Except Google, maybe. Don't Google THC.
Don't Google it. God damn it.